Good morning everyone. Today we are going to discuss about box model and CSS tables. Box model. In this, the content is surrounded by a border. So we refer this as a box model because the border wraps the content in the form of box. In CSS, if you want to create a box, we make use of division tag and we apply few attributes. The most popular attributes we'll be using in the box model are margins, borders, padding. These attributes will place around the content. The content can be either text or image. Padding is a space that we specify between the content of the box and its borders. Padding value can be used on the four sides: left, right, top, and bottom. Border attribute is used to specify the border around the content with different styles of border, and margin attribute is used to set the margin value, that is the space around the border. So if you see this image, the content is placed in the middle and the space between the content and border is specified by using padding attribute, and the space around the border is specified by using margin attribute. To differentiate the spacing, we used border in green color. So if you have seen that content is the innermost thing and there is a space between content and border. If the padding value is 0, then there will be no space between the content and border. Now this is an example where we are making use of division tag and we are applying few styles for the division. Here the division element, we have applied styles by using internal CSS. The properties I have used in this example are background color, border, padding, margin, and font family. In the output, you can see how the border is highlighted. The background color of the border is given. The border size is 10 pixels solid black, and the padding between the content and the border is 15 pixels. Font family is Arial, that is the text whichever is written in the box is in Arial format, and the margin, that is the space around the border, is 15 pixels on all the four sides. Now in the body, if you see the body section of the page contains a heading, a paragraph of text, and a division. We can place more than one divisions in a page. But according to this example, if I used three divisions, then all the three divisions will have the same styles. If you want to apply different style for different divisions, you can go for style classes or ID selector. Now we'll see how the height and width of the division is set. So according to this example, let us consider the width of the division is 360 pixels. Now, if you want to calculate the width of the division, first we have to consider the width of the content, then padding values, then border values and the margin values. To calculate the width of an element, we have to add width of the content. In the example, we have given width as 320 pixels. Then padding. When we are considering width, we have to take horizontal values. That means left padding and right padding. Left padding is 10 pixels, right padding is 10 pixels. So total padding value is 20 pixels. Likewise, border also we have to consider left border as well as right border. Left border is 5 pixels, right border is 5 pixels. So overall border value is 10 pixels. And margin is left margin is 5 pixels, right margin is 5 pixels. So the overall margin value will be 10. So here when I add the width 320 plus 20 overall padding plus overall border value is 10, overall margin value is 10. If we add all these values, the total value will be 360 pixels. So that is the width of the division element. Similarly, we can calculate the height of the division element. If you want to calculate the height of the division element, we have to consider the top and bottom values. That is height of the content plus top padding plus bottom padding plus top border plus bottom border plus top margin and bottom margin. If we add all these values, then we'll get the total height of the division. So, if you want to place more than one division, we can use the properties height of the division, width of the division, margin, padding, border attributes. We can have more than one division in a web page. The main purpose of division is to create logical divisions of a web page. Logical divisions in the sense I can divide my web page either into rows or columns or a mix of both rows and columns without giving any horizontal rules. Each division is treated as separate element. So in this, at present, whatever the example you are seeing here, it contains only one division. Likewise, I can place n number of divisions in my web page. Now this is about divisions and box model. Now we will come to CSS tables. All of you know what are the tags of table. So in HTML, if you want to create a table, we are using 4 tags: table tag, tr tag, th tag and td tag. Th and td contains the data of the cell. Tr is to rows, it contains the complete row information, and table tag contains the complete table information. If you want to apply more properties, we can do it by using CSS. So here are the few properties which can be applied to table, td and th elements: border, padding, text align, vertical align, height, width, background color, background image. Border property, as you know, it is used to set the border of the table. If the border value is 0, then the border is not visible. Padding property is already we have discussed in the division tag. The same applies here also. Padding is the space between the border and contents of the cell. Text align property. This is horizontal alignment we are dealing with. So here the horizontal alignment values are left, right and center. And vertical alignment, this contains the values left, top, bottom and middle. So these two attributes, text align and vertical align, helps us to place the content in a cell. That is that cell alignment. Height and width properties. These are used to set the table height and the table width. These two properties are mainly used to set the table layout. Background color, we used to set the background color of the table or a cell or a row. Likewise, we can apply background image for the whole table or a cell or a row. Either we can use table color, background color or background image. Will not apply both. Now we'll see table specific properties in CSS. We have border collapse, border spacing, caption side, cells, table layout. Border collapse. Here, border collapse, this is a special property which allows you to deal with the borders of a cell. If you in a table, if you want to show only one border, then the value will be collapse. If we select the value as collapse, the browser picks only one border of the cells and the other border will be hidden. For example, we are joining two cells. We have two cells. Both the cells will have the borders. So when I say the value as collapse, it combines instead of showing two borders, it shows only one border. It browser picks one border, either of the first cell or the second cell, and displays the border. Only one border is shown. Border spacing. So this is the spacing between the adjacent cells. In HTML, we have used cell spacing. The same work here will be done by border spacing. Border spacing is the space between two borders of adjacent cells. Caption side. To specify the placement of a table caption, that is, whenever we are writing tables, we can give captions. So, which side you want to place the caption? Top, bottom, left or right? Okay, cells. This property is used to specify whether or not to display the borders and backgrounds on empty cells. If a table has an empty cell, now this property lets the browser to specify whether to display the border for an empty cell or not. Table layout. Table layout is nothing but the height and width of the table. If the space allocated for the table is not enough, then automatically the browser increases the height and width of the table. So to override that, we can give the dimensions of the table. So the browser only takes this dimensions, whatever the dimensions given by the user, that is height and width of the table. So these are the properties which we can use in table CS, table CSS. So here is an example. You can see the example. I have given properties for table tag separately. One is border collapse are given. The value is collapse. So it takes only one border. Uh, out of two. For example, according to this, I have three rows and two columns. So adjacent cells will have two borders. Instead of selecting one border, it takes only one border. The browser picks only one border to display. Then I have applied styles for table tag, TD tag and TH tag. Border, the styles we have applied is border, width, height, text align, vertical align, padding and background color. Border is 2 pixels solid. Width of the table is 30%. Height of the table is 100 pixels. Text align, vertical align is center and middle, that is both the value should be placed in the center of the cell. Padding is 25 pixels, that is the space between the data and the border cells is 25 pixels on all the four sides. So the name, whatever the first name or the last name is written, and left 25 pixels, right padding is 25, top padding is 25 and bottom padding is 25. The background color is yellow. So these properties will be applied in the body. If you have seen, this is the output. This is the output we are getting. We got 3 rows and 2 columns. Border is 2 pixels and text alignment is center. Vertical alignment is also center, that is middle. Around 25 pixels padding is there. So likewise, we can apply the properties in tables by using CSS. So here I completed both box model and CSS tables. Tomorrow we'll discuss outline, CSS outline and the miscellaneous properties which are left out in CSS. With that, we'll complete our CSS portion. Thank you, girls.